All right, beautiful people, we got a lot to cover, and I'm going to go right into the charts. And as you can see right here, I am on the Dixie, or the US dollar. And as you can see, guys, the US dollar has been on an upward run. So it's meandered up and down, but right now it's sitting at its daily high levels. Okay, so this is what this represents, these dots right here. These are the daily levels. Okay, so with the daily levels right here, that's telling me that the dollar had bumped up against it and then it decreased. Okay, but however, you still see that it's in an upwards channel. Therefore, it might do a pullback first before cascading and switching to the downside. This is very important because the US dollar controls the all the USD pairs that you trade, the Euro USD, GBP USD, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So as I'm going over through the charts, you keep what you see in mind as to what's going to happen. In addition to that, there's a lot of turbulence going on in the world, and this is what makes trading difficult for people. A lot of people think it's the strategy. It's sometimes it has nothing to do with your strategy. It's the things that interrupt the strategy, such as news events that come out. So what actually happened on Friday? On Friday, for whatever reason, China came out with some news saying that they're going to start slapping more tariffs on goods and services, and that is vital to the United States. As a retaliatory action, President Trump said he's going to, starting November 1st, put 100% tariff on all of the stuff, or much of the stuff, that's coming in from China. So they already had a 30% tariff. Now it's going to be 130% tariff on China goods. That is why the market went nuts. So again, this is one of those exciting situations that when you looked at your setup, you say, man, why do I lose trades? Well, it's not because of your setup. It's because of random situations like that that can happen just out the blue. And the best way to protect yourself against that is to make absolutely sure that you are managing your risk. Do not go full force on any given trade, because at any given moment, some news event can come out that was not expected, and it can go against you. Speaking of news events, let's talk about what's coming up this week. The AUD, it comes out with their minutes. This is their kind of like the Fed Chairman Powell's speech, where they're talking about future interest rates and so forth and so forth. This is important if you're going to trade the AUD, because they may give a hint to whether they're going to raise or lower interest rates. And if that does happen, then you're going to see some shaking and rumbling going on with the AUD, okay, the Australian dollar. Same thing on Tuesday, coming up with Fed Chairman Powell doing the same thing. Okay, because that was the other thing that happened, where the Fed is coming out and they're hinting towards doing more rate cuts. If that happens, then the dollar may rise again. If he says absolutely nothing and just blah, 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 then nothing to worry about. Now we also have the jobless claims, which is very important because right now there's so much going on, and a lot of people, because of the government shutdown. I just heard that a lot of people in the education sector has been laid off, which is very unfortunate. Because we need people in the education, and what's unfortunate is because they don't get paid a lot of money in the first place, and yet that's the workforce that's getting laid off. It doesn't make any sense, and we wonder why our education is so terrible in one of the richest countries on the planet. But that's another story. The US dollar is also coming out with their PPI numbers. These are like manufacturing numbers. This is very important to find out, okay, how strong is our economy going to be due to the manufacturing? And manufacturing and jobs go hand in hand. So those are the news events that I saw that is of importance for this week. Now, let's get right on over to the charts. And by the way, before I get into the charts, let's talk about how you can join us if you want to. Totally up to you. I'm going to bring on here a couple of our websites right here. You can go to our main website, which is super easy, E as in Echo, Z as in Zebra, Forex.com. And all the different services that we offer is right here. If you want to live trade with us, go right here. And this will take you to our futures website. Now, I need to explain this because this is a little change that we did. If you want to trade live with Miss Jenny in the live session on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, you want to join the New York session. As for the agent session, we did a change because a lot of people were getting off work late, and then they had to deal with their family and everything else. So it was very difficult for them to attend the live sessions with me during the agent session. So as a result of that, we switched from doing live trade sessions to doing my private Telegram channel, where you receive my trades that I take throughout the week. So it's not just trades during the agent session. These trades can come out at any given time. And I'm very excited for the setups that I see coming up for this week. So it should be a very, very good week. So if you want my trades, then you want to join the agent session. If you want to trade live with Miss Jenny, you go into the New York session. Now, if you want to be copied on all of our trades for the Forex market, the indices market, which is different from the futures, and the oil and silver markets and so forth, then you want to go right here, look at that drop down and click on the copycat, okay? And then we'll get to the charts shortly. So on the copycat service, a lot of people enjoy this because you don't have to do anything. No more trading for you. You just do your thing. We do the trading. You get copied on our trades. And here's a little short video that'll show you me taking the trade here. This will be your account. When I took a trade here, you see it'll pop up on here. When I close the trade here, it closed out on here. It's completely hands-free. Only take minutes to set up. So if you want that, then you want to go to superezcopycat.com, okay? Now, if you just simply want to trade on your own and you want a trend trading system, then the Ocean Wave is for you. The one that you're going to be seeing me shortly do is a combination of my Simplicity system, which you can join and get that now, and it comes with exactly what you see here, with the trends, the supply and demand zone, support and resistance, and arrow. But I also built something different, which is also the sexy analyst. So this is what you're about to see. Okay, now enough of that. Let's get on to the chart. So here's what I'm looking at. Let's go one by one. So looking at this is again the setup that I saw. It was a very nice setup, sitting on a strong support level right here. And as you can see, the thing was coming up and touching here, boom, touch, boom, and it came right here. But it broke through. Why did this one break through? Because of China's news, that tariffs that they slapped on there. So instantly, the AUD USD and the NZD USD dropped and fell through a strong level. Why? Because they're tied to China. Okay. Which, thank you, James, for clarifying that for me. I'm still always being educated. But as far as the GBP USD, and we'll go to that. You can see it bounced right off of support. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And look at that nice shoot up, okay? And the Euro USD, it did the exact same thing. It bounced right up. What do I expect to happen on this one? All right, with the dollar going down in strength, it's going to do a pullback. So expect to pull back on these first. But I do believe that the Euro USD and the GBP USD should go up to the upside. Let's skip around and go to, and I'm getting the dollar pairs out of the way first. This one, I do expect, this is a US dollar CAD. And I do believe, see right here, it topped out very strongly. And we'll go to the 4-hour time frame. You see that. However, I would not be a person who would try to sell it right off. I will wait and see if it does a pullback. If it does a pullback and then stalls out, just like we're expecting with the dollar here, see, boom, pull back, stall out, and give us a lower high. If we get a lower high or something right around this range, and let me kind of mark it up for you guys. If I see a lower high right around this range right here, meaning that it pulls down and comes back up wide there, because you see this candle right here, this previous level right here. You can see it right there. And then it came down, and the first place it stopped at right there is that candle right there. So as you can see here, see it dropped, stopped right here on the dime. And let me move this down just a little bit more, and you'll see even more correlation. You'll see it stopped right here. When this shot up, it touched it right there. Then when this came down, it touched it right there. And when it came back, it touched it right there. So if there's a pullback, I expect it to possibly touch right here, and that would be at 98.945 level, the 98.945 level. So if it does pull back but doesn't break all the way to the top, we should be good to go. And that means that if that dollar does that, this is going to follow. So it's going to pull back a little bit. But as long as it does not break these highs, we should get a turnaround and then a dippity-do to the downside. All right, let's take a look at the US dollar Swiss. US dollar Swiss tanked very hard again because of the China news, but I do expect it to do a pullback, possibly right here to the 23.6 Fibonacci level. And if it does that, that's going to give you a range of 0.8346. Okay, and that's retesting this level right here. This is what we're looking at right here, a retest of that level. And you can see also respect it there. So it may do a pullback. So I would not be in a hurry to sell the dollar, any dollar pairs. I'll be looking to actually buy them first. Okay. But again, this depends on what happens with the situation with China, because again, this is all about what happened with the tariffs with China. That's what threw the market off at the last minute on Friday. So a lot of your trading pairs, which by the way, look at this said to sell right here on the dot, and it collapsed and worked out perfectly. So again, my simplicity system and the sexy analyst, look, it told you to sell right here, and then the thing collapsed. So if you need a trading system, I'm just telling you, get the sexy analyst, which you see with the trend line, support and resistance, Fibonacci levels, supply and demand zones. Everything is built into it. And then you get the simplicity system, which will give you your arrows, which is where this is coming from. And you see it called it right before the big move. Look at this. Called it, boom. Called it, boom. Okay, so again, no trading system is going to be 100% perfect, but again, it's up to you. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, let's go to gold, and then I'll go back to a couple of other pairs. So gold, look at this. Simplicity called it right here, and I'm on the 1 hour time frame. It called it right up here, and it said to sell. Okay, and then it did, bounced off support, came right back to this, and then eventually dropped and hit right here to this level. Okay, right into this zone right here. But it called it right up there. And look at the trend lines. Bounce right off it. The yellow dots represents resistance. Okay, the supply and demand zone box, which you can change the colors. I just gray them out so it won't be too many colors. And then it pulled down, bounced off support, and stalled right here. Now, there's the trouble in the land. We don't know whether people are going to continue to buy gold because of the nervousness. It's one of those currencies to where people will always buy it when they're nervous. They will sell it when they feel really good. Okay, so in other words, when stocks go down, gold goes up. And when gold goes up, when gold goes down, stocks go up. So it's kind of like they're on a seesaw amongst each other. Okay. So if you see that the NASDAQ and the other indices are going down, you're going to see gold go up. But once people feel comfortable that the world is safe and everything is okay, then that safe haven gold, people will drop it and they start taking on more risk buying into the stock market, which is your indices. And then you'll see it do that. So right now with all the chaos, I'm not certain where this is going to go. And I'm not the only one. I check with other traders who trade gold, and you'll hear them say the same thing, that it's kind of up in the air because this is an emotional currency. People buy gold when they are nervous and they sell it when they feel good. Well, that means that you're basically trading people's feelings. Do you see why it's unstable? So that's the reason why market structure may hold here. And we do see that it created a high, all-time high, in fact, dropped out of there, and immediately it got bought right back up by the investors. So a lot of investors that bought the dip. You see here it dipped and they bought it right up. So the question is this is going to be, and it did create a lower high, which we can see that right here on gold. This is a lower high. No question about it. That's a lower high, and we can drag this down to the 23.6 Fibonacci level. And again, I'm on a 1 hour time frame. So point is, here's the question. And I know for some people, well, your trend line ain't straight. Okay, here you go. Calm down. Calm down. Okay, there you go. Okay, now it's touching the tops. So we do see that the gold has pulled down and then did a pullback and stopped literally on our trend line right here and right at my yellow resistance level right here. And I'll make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see that. So you can see it dropped, bounced off support. This is why I built this system. I can make everything visual for myself. So I seen clearly when it was bouncing off support, and now it's hitting that resistance. The question is, will this level of resistance hold or will it not? The question is, will it break through this trend line and continue up to retest this level, or will it now hit this resistance and then drop? That is what you have to watch for if you are a gold trader. All right, now let's go to a couple other pairs. NZD, AUD, NZD. I don't like it right now, and I'm going to go out to the 4 hour time frame. This thing has dropped. I do expect it to pull back. But it looks like it's in now an official downtrend. So if anything, I'll be waiting for a pullback out of this level. But again, this dropped like a rock because of what's going on with the tariffs that President Trump just literally announced on Friday. So it's no telling where the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar is going to go, because since they're tied to China and China just got slapped with 100% tariffs, truth be told, I will probably try to stay away from it for a minute. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to skip right past this. Now, if anything, if it settles out, and you can see the price action is hanging right at the Fibonacci level of 50% Fibonacci retracement. So since this is so, if this thing holds and there's any good news or anything, something settles out, then I expect this thing to pull back very, very hard, and that to be very, very profitable. However, because of the tariffs, we don't know. So it's better to just stay away from the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar for now. Now, however, again, if it seems to slow, like people are getting used to it, and it's just was a knee-jerk reaction, as you can see, this one also as well, the AUD JPY is hanging right around the 50% retracement. Now, all of these numbers have one big problem that I'm going over. What is that problem? The weekend gap. Anything could have happened over the weekend. So just take it with a grain of salt. And again, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in these markets. Okay. So again, this is a very, very strong support level. So if things do settle out, this will be a great buying area right here to just, wow, that would be amazing. Okay. That would really be amazing to buy it right off of here and come all the way back to the 23.6 Fibonacci, which means that it can pull all the way back up to the 99.406 level. But anything back to the upside would be gracious. But again, it just depends. All right, so as you can see, CAD dropped. All the JPY pairs dropped as well. So again, I'm just telling you guys, I really don't, I don't see any favor. Now, interesting enough, this one here has hit a double top. Okay, and I'm gonna go to the 1 hour time frame, and you can see clearly where there's a resistance level right here. That is where the resistance is, prior resistance, and you see it shot up and then sparked right through and then came right back beneath it. The question is, will this hold again? Because it's the New Zealand dollar, Euro New Zealand dollar. It's no telling. It could hold here and then go for a drop, but if not, it can break through here and keep pushing up to the upside. So yes, it's a nice setup for a drop, but you got to be careful. All right, we already did the Euro USD. Let's take a look at the Australian Euro CAD. Euro CAD is interesting. I don't see anything I like. This one here has been overbought completely. Okay, completely overbought. So in my opinion, if this knee-jerk reaction is finished, then I would be looking to sell at this level because I do see that this is a very strong resistance level right here. Okay, bing, right there. See, resistance, 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 and this jumped right into it. But again, it has to do with the tariff news. If people are stable now and say, okay, we'll just knee-jerk reaction, then this right here with this huge long candle, which you will rarely ever see in the markets, this is a news event candle. That means it can turn around and pull back down. Okay. However, if it pushes, this thing can push all the way up to the 78.6 Fibonacci level right here, or it can push all the way up here, which I doubt, but we can, it just depends on the tariffs, all the way up here and retest this level. So it's just up in the air. So be careful. All right. This one here has dropped again. Tariff news. Don't know. But if anything, if it does settle out, I'm going to be buying. Okay, same thing with this. As you can see, that tariff news just did terrible damage. Now, again, this one, just like the Euro NZD, this one is right here at a double top level. So it's the GBP NZD. It's also sitting at a double top level. Again, due to the tariffs, we don't know whether this is going to stabilize right here and push a little bit higher and then turn around, or whether it's going to break through there. It depends on the reaction of the investors, the main players in the market, and what they're going to do with their money. Okay. If they feel comfortable, like, okay, we'll deal with it, then this will sell off and this will be a great double top for a drop. If not, then it'll break through this level. So we want to watch this level to see if there's a closed candle above this level. If it's a closed candle above this level, you do not want to be a seller. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Same thing here. This one leaped like a leapfrog, but as you can see, it stopped literally right here on the 50% retracement. That's where it stopped at. Same thing. So again, if people are comfortable, then they'll go ahead and see this pullback and people will cash out on that big move on Friday. If not, this thing can possibly jump all the way up to the 61.8 Fibonacci level, and that'll get you to this level right here, and that'll be the 2.07127 level. So it just depends. This is the range I'm looking at. If the market settles out, then I'm looking for a pullback at least to the 38.2 Fibonacci on the 1 hour time frame. I'm sorry, the 4 hour time frame. But if not, it's going to push higher. Okay, it just depends on tariffs. We already went over GBP USD, GCAD. I don't see anything, and the M pairs again, they dropped and broke through to the downside because of the tariffs. So nothing there, nothing there, and nothing there. And we already went over those. We went over gold, and so I think we are good. I really don't want to trade the Swiss pairs, which is why you see them on the backside here. I don't like those. All right, so that's it, guys. That's a wrap. Hopefully this video was helpful. Again, you guys, if you want to join us, you want to get my trades or my team's trades, just go to superezforex.com and then you can click on any of our services. Okay. Peace and hair grease. I got a date to go on.